Some years ago, there was an advertisement for an overseas whiskey. And that whiskey, which is spelled D-E-W-A-R-S and pronounced doers, the ad went as follows, that in life there are the sayers and the doers. And therefore, you should be a doer and not a sayer. And this idea is reflected in Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers, where the great sage Shammai said, Emor ma'at va'aseh harbe. You should say little, but do much. Where do we learn this concept from? And in fact, we learn it from the beginning of this week's Parshat Vayeira. Avraham has just undergone circumcision at a very advanced age. He's in pain, he's in discomfort. But Avraham loves to have guests. He loves to have visitors. And he's sitting on the outside of his tent. It's a boiling hot day. Hashem didn't want to bother him. There are no visitors around, no wayfarers. But he sees that Avraham wants guests. So he sends 3 angels, disguised as nomads, as Arabs. And they appear on the horizon. Avraham sees them. He runs out towards them, even though he's in pain. And he says to them, my lords, please come, sit under the tree, wash your feet. I'll bring you a little bit of water and a little bit of bread. And you can be satiated and you can go on your way. So Avraham said to them, I'll bring you food, I'll bring you some bread, and I'll bring you some water. But what did he really do? Well, we see that he runs to Sarah in the tent, and he tells her to start preparing and baking all types of delicacies. And then he goes to his son Ishmael, and he says to Ishmael, I want you to go and select 3 of the choicest young bulls that we have, slaughter them, because I want to serve our visitors something special. A speciality, a treat, tongue in mustard. This is a very ancient dish. Each one should get this. And then we see that he prepared it, and then came the meal. And there were all types of delicacies. First he gave them milchiks, and then he gave them fleischiks. And in fact, the Talmud says it was a meal that was fit for a king. But that's not what Avraham said he would bring them. He said he would bring them water and bread. That's all that he promised. Nevertheless, we see and hear the sages tell us, Emor ma'at va'aseh harbe. Promise little, but do much. Rather be a person who under-promises but over-delivers than a person who over-promises and under-delivers. The contrast of this is going to be at the beginning of Parshat Chayei Sarah. There we read of the passing of Sarah Imenu, our mother, our matriarch Sarah, and Avraham is now in a quandary. He doesn't own a single piece of land in the land of Canaan. He wants to bury Sarah. And for a long time, he's had his eye on that cave in the town of Hebron, Machpelah. And he finds out that this particular piece of real estate is owned by a man called Ephron HaChiti. And he goes to him, and Avram and Ephron are negotiating, in fact, in front of a lot of people. And this man, Ephron, says, Avraham, you are a prince of God amongst us. You are an honorable person. We're friends. What is a piece of real estate worth 400 shekels between friends? Yeah, you can have it. Take it for nothing. And he makes all types of promises. And yet, at the end of the paragraph, we see that he charged Avraham an astronomical sum of the best currency for that property. Avraham had to pay it. Well, what happened to all of his promises? We're friends. You can take it for nothing. No, that's not what happened, because he was a person who said a lot, who made a lot of promises, but when it came to delivery, the delivery was just not there. And this is what Shammai instructs us. Take your cue, emulate Avraham. Don't be a person who over-promises. Today we live in a world like this. You see advertising for a particular product. It says that it has this and it has that and it'll last for so long and so forth. And when you actually get it, you're somewhat disappointed because it's a complete over-promising of what the actual item has to deliver. Here our sages tell us, follow the example of Avraham. Be a person who says little but does much. Because if you're a person who over-promises, you could just get into trouble and under-deliver. And I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.